Good morning. It's the 2nd of November today. It's just gone 9 AM Eastern Time, and I'm going to go through my trade plan for today. In fact, I'll put it on screen. So I've got my pre-market game plan. I'm watching a few levels, but before we just go, I just want to talk about what data we've got today. So we've had 8:30 non-farm payrolls, initial jobless claims, non-farm productivity, jobless claims, and we saw a bit of a positive move from that, so just keep an eye on that. And today we've got factory orders. That's the only thing that could move the market at 10 AM, so the rest of them are relatively low market moving news, so just keep an eye out for 10 AM. So on my screen is the MES or the ES chart, which is the S&P 500 index futures. I've got the daily time frame at the moment. I just want to go through what happened yesterday briefly. So yesterday we were around about here before FMOC, and we're coming into this trend line, and as you can see we broke through this daily trend line, and even today we came, or in fact on the SPY we were up into the 200 moving average, but we also pulled back, and you can see we touched the 200 yesterday, but today we break through the 200. We're looking pretty bullish. Volume wise, yesterday, despite a biggish candle, we had a slightly bigger volume bar, that one there, and I was expecting it to react at that point, but it didn't, so I was looking for a break and retest. We could see this candle set up into a bearish candle, but it looks pretty bullish at the moment, so I want to stick with a trend today. And we've got this channel we've set up as well, and if I go into 60 I'll draw the channel down. We've broken that channel, so potentially we're looking for a change of trend, maybe a pull back to this area for another push up. If we're watching for a reject, then we've got this area here, which is a daily level, and that's at 43.50. So, and we also got this downward trend line as well, so potentially this area could be where this daily level and the channel intercepts each other, so that's an area to watch. Just note we are now above the 200 moving average, but we are still below the 50 moving average as well, so until we can get above the 50 and close above the 50, long swing trades may be off the table unless there's a good pattern setting up. But we're still in as you can see, we're still in a daily downtrend, and we will be until we're not. And when we're not, it'll be when we get above this area and then confirm a change of trend. So looking at the hourly today, I've got a couple of levels. I've got one major area I'm watching for, and that will be coming into this trend line area. So I've got it set for, potentially we could be watching, I've got 43.50 as an area to watch for, but we could be a little bit earlier with that, so I'm going to put another level in about there. So 43.41 to 43.50, that's an area I'm watching. So, and it will be looking for a reject off of this channel, and I've got this very high risk rejection area as well, which is 43.12.75, and that's basically where the bottoms of candles were there. Area of congestion over here, bottoms of candles. It's a older level I just put back in again today, because when we were down here I started clearing off some of the levels, so we're coming back into that area. Where we are right now, 42.95, which is almost 4300, I've got as a high risk rejection, this area here, as we are quite close, but I quite like the break and retest of that area. I'm watching the pre-market highs for a break and retest, but like yesterday, which worked out really well. So if I can break and retest, I'm looking to go long. I'd also look to go long if we get down to 42.80, which is the top of this demand zone, and also 42.59, 42.60 area is a bounce area as well. And there's quite a few bounce areas, and obviously the bottom of this trend line as well, the daily trend line down at 42.40, 42, 45 area. And all of these bounces will be in line with the uptrend we're watching. So we're currently in an hourly uptrend, and until this trend is broken, then that's going to be my slight bias. Let's just put in a trend line to see where we broke it. Around about there. So you can see where we broke it on, was that Monday, broke the trend line, and this is a lovely inverse head and shoulders pattern. So the neckline was where we broke this downward trend line, and we haven't quite come back to retest it, but we have retested the neckline though. Yeah, I think that's the area I'm targeting, 43.41 today to 43.50. So I'm going to be patient and wait till we get up to that area. 4,300, we looked at that as, I can't do, oh I didn't write in that, I haven't quite finished my plan, but, so we had FMOC yesterday and it's quite positive, so we normally see a bit of volatility in the days after FMOC, so potentially waiting to see what happens. That's the channel we're trading up. So if the market pushes up on the open, let's just get some perspective. If we see a big push from the market, even though we've seen a big push on big volume at the moment for the pre-market, I'm looking for a break and retest of this pre-market high. But I'll potentially be waiting for a bounce off of yesterday's highs around this area, 42.59, 42.60. There's not really that great levels to watch really today. So I'm going to try and protect yesterday's gains, which was a good day, and I'm just going to go for higher probability trades, and that will be going with a trend or a pullback. So I want to watch for a pullback in the uptrend as well today, and I'll just be keeping an eye on waiting for a buy setup. So if it pulls up, comes back, may not have to retouch the pre-market low, but I want to try and catch a long. So that's it really for MES. SPY is very similar. The best area for rejection is between 430, maybe 430.50 to 432, so that's a rejection area. Maybe we could watch 428.50 to 429, but there's not much there. You can look also at the volume control. There's no volume in this area as well. So when the volume starts coming back in, it's right up here at 430 to 431. So that's an area to watch for a rejection, and that would be a higher probability rejection. Bounce wise, if we come back to the 200 moving average, maybe we can watch for a bounce. That's a 200 starts curving around for the move back up. So that'll be at 422.33, that area there. So an area we've had in for a while as well, and we came down, we put a bottom pivot in there, pushed through, we touched it there, came back through, we kind of hovered, we've averaged around, and then that was our turning point there. So there is an area of demand in this area because we saw this big move down. So 422 to 421 area, that's an area to watch for a bounce. And that's probably all I'd watch for on Qs, and obviously rejection at 430 to 431. I mean on SPY. Qs next. So 364.50 rejection. Could also watch where we are now for potential continuation of the trend. Biggish volume yesterday. That's FMOC volume. This is hourly. Yeah, so maybe a break and retest of 361 area, and then a high risk rejection at 364.50, and then a higher probability rejection if we get into the 370 area. And for bounces, if we come back down to 354, 353, I quite like a bounce around there. Last time we were in those areas, this area particularly, 354, we saw this big move up. So maybe if we get back down to 354 area, we could see something similar. And that's it really. 351 to 352. Yeah, I think for all the areas, 351 to 352 is the area to watch for. Looking at NASDAQ. Okay, I've got a trend line in there as well. $15,132, that's the area to watch for. So we've got the bottom of this area here, we've got tops of candles, bottoms of candles roughly, tops of this candle here. So potential, and last time it was up in that area, 15,3, 15,130, we saw a big rejection down. So potentially that's an area to watch for, a rejection. And for bounces, it's basically a continuation of the trend, a bit like all the others we've looked at. If we can get this area for, obviously 15,000 is a psychological number as well, maybe a break and retest of that area. In fact, yeah, that would be a more preferred area. We kind of did break it before, but we couldn't hold it. But maybe this time we're in an upward trend, so we are a little bit stronger. So if we can break it and hold 15,000, then we can watch for a push up. So that's basically what I'm watching. I'm going to put my alert in actually to keep on, so I know when it's getting close. And for bounces, quite like this area down here, 14,500, this area. Put my alert in there as well to remind me. So unless you could potentially use 14,640, but I don't like that. This area here is the best area in my opinion. Looking at oil, oil's been on a bit of a downtrend over coming days. It was looking really strong at one point. So we've broken this area now yesterday. So 82 was an area, so potentially watch for a rejection at 82.34, and if we were above this area 82, I probably would be waiting for a new push up, but I think we're looking a bit weaker at the moment. Let's have a look. That's a 15. Let's go to the hourly. Yeah, we're putting in a series of lower lows, lower high. That's an equal, so it consolidated here, broke down, pulled back, and it's finally cracked. So I think 82 rejection. And how are we looking on the daily? We're coming back down to this area. So 78 area, and that's the, looks like up curving upwards 200 moving average as well. So if we get, that's an area to watch for. If you note the topping tails, we've got topping tails. Volumes been average, so yeah, I quite like the bounce up for 77.98 or 78, and that's the area to watch for. And last time it was down there, we saw this nice big push up. In fact, that's the only place I think I like. Wait for it to come back down, because it's broken this area now. We come back up, we've retested it a couple of days in a row, and so I think the next area is 78. And gold, look at gold. Still quite like this for a daily squeeze. Potentially, I quite like the break above that candle. 2005.40. Let's put an alert in there. I'll do a bit forward, give me some time. If we can break that candle, we may look to see it break a new and make a new high, a new recent high. So you can see the volume for these candles were above the average line. The volume for these down candles, and they're slightly wider as well, started off below average, but still less volume than the previous three candles. So I'm still pretty neutral at this area. but I do like the long continuation on this daily uptrend. So, and if we break that area, which is 1978, then we're potentially changing direction, a change of trend. So on the hourly, so we're still above. Oh, here we go. That's promising. So we put in this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Not a very good right shoulder, but the neckline's around there. We're above the 200 and we're above the 50 as well, and it's an upward trailing 200 moving average still, hasn't curved around yet. So I quite like the long, but it's a bit choppy in this area. You can see this volume as well, so congested volume around this area as well. Yeah, I still quite like if we break 2004, this pivot here, I might be interested in going long with a first target set to that high, but I'll play this by ear as it happens. Okay, just to recap, MES and ES, you get that rejection area we talked about a few minutes ago. It's rejected it now. That's an area, so that's our pre-market high to watch for. So I quite like the break and retest of that area. High risk rejection at 413.75, and a higher probability rejection if we get close to this trend line, this blue line, into 443.41, 43.50 area. So this is the area I quite like. This is a higher probability rejection, that entire area. And for bounces, yesterday's high potential bounce area to continue this uptrend. If we break yesterday's high, then potentially we got a bounce at 42.40 area. This is the trend line, which we honoured. We honoured it for a bit. We broke through it, came back up. We held it, and finally broke it. And we did retest it as well. So this area is an area of significance, 42.40. Okay, that's it really. So just to quickly sum up, higher probability rejection at 43.50 area. Happens to be this daily level. I quite like a break and retest long as well at the pre-market high, which is 42.95. 4300 is an area I'm watching for a break and retest. And I want to be more, don't want to be biased, but until we break this uptrend in the hourly, then I'm going to be more bullish than bearish. And then we've got a higher risk bounce at 42.59.75 and a bounce area at 42.40 and a higher probability. So they're the four levels really I'm watching for today. But I want to protect the sweets gains, so I'm going to be patient and I'm just going to take the trade if it's an A plus trade only. Okay, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button if you like this video, and any comments, and leave some comments to let me know if there's any other tickers you want me to look at or any other patterns. I generally only look for support, resistance, supply and demand, and I quite like head and shoulder patterns as well. So they're the main ones I watch for, and it works pretty well for me. This is a great pattern, this one. Yeah, okay, thank you for watching. Have a good day trading, trade safe.